It's the Christmas time. We're really excited. Happy holidays to all as we are here with you on the ALC Sidelines Podcast. Dan Zampano joining you on the YouTubes, on the Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Please sure to like and subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel, the ALC Sports Network. And please follow us on all the social medias as we bring you the best content around from the best conference in the MCLA, or so they say. We're getting towards very, very close waters to the MCLA season, right? I mean, we've got games kicking off at the end of January. So it's going to turn quickly. You're going to go home. You're going to get the holiday ham. You're going to have some Christmas traditions. Then you're going to, after the holidays, spend time with family. You're going to go have New Year's, sing that Auld Lang Syne. And then you're going to come back to campus, and we're ready to roll in like 2 weeks. So it's going to be fast. And it's so exciting when it comes around. So we're really excited. We got some games that right out of the gate are going to be a lot of fun. One of those teams that's coming out right out of the gate and has a game in January is the Clemson Tigers, who now have the moniker from a lot of coaches that I hear from around the country as Dark Horse. I think that's a great moniker for them. This is a young team that went really far, maybe farther than expected in 2025, and they have a lot of people coming back. They lose some people, no question. They lose Will Leonard, defenseman. They lose John Hennessy, their goalie. Ian Jackson was really good for them. But they've got a really good coach in Andrew Tobias, who has reloaded this team, brought in transfers, and have a ton of depth coming back this season for Clemson. So we're going to talk to two of them. We're going to talk to Luke Romano, defenseman, and Adam Neal, a midfielder from that Clemson squad. Talk about last year, how it transfers to next year, and why things could be hairy for teams that play this squad when they see them in 2026. So without further ado, here are the Clemson Tigers on the ALC Sidelines Podcast, Holiday Edition. Hope you enjoy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ALC Sidelines Podcast. We are happy to have you on this wintry month of December. We are less than 2 months. Can you believe it? Less than 2 months away from the MCLA season. I don't believe it. February 1st is really when a lot of teams get kicked off. So it is going to be an exciting time, especially in Clemson, South Carolina, where our next guests are hailing from. These are some of the Clemson Tigers, two of the Clemson Tigers that we're going to be looking forward to watching later on this year, and just maybe watching them on a big ESPN app maybe later in the year too. That should be a lot of fun, as Clemson will go to Liberty this year to take on Liberty on ESPN. That would be kind of cool to see these guys play. We're looking forward to it. Here we have Luke Romano from Clemson University and Adam Neal as well. Both join us live and in color, and both New Hampshire guys and both New England guys. So that right up my alley. So that you have a gold star, you have a check mark from me, boys, already. So we're gonna have a lot of fun today. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Dan. I appreciate you having us.
Yeah, likewise. Happy to be on representing the Tigers.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's just get into it, guys. I mean, we saw Clemson. This was a weird year last year, right? I mean, you go and you win and rip off like 7 out of 8. You have this wild up and down. You're looking good. I think a lot of people viewed you guys as young, but really gritty and hungry. And then just down the stretch, things just went wrong. And things just took a turn. You lose your final game of the regular season to your arch rival by 12. And I think we could both admit it was just not your day, right? It went wrong. But what happens next, I think, was hard to believe, because you just get this unbelievable performance from a gritty defense, a saucy paws goalie in John Hennessy, and you go to Blacksburg and you upset the Hokies, and you get to City Stadium last year and go to the semis. And I don't think anybody was really expecting that to happen at all. What kind of vibe were you guys having towards the end of the year? And were you guys honestly feeling like, yeah, we can get to, heck, we can get to the ALC finals. Heck, we can maybe get to the MCLA tournament. Like, was there ever a thought in your guys' head after you lost that South Carolina game that was going to happen?
I mean, I think it was a big point in practice to kind of reinstill the mindset that yeah, we can make the run. We can go and win the conference, win the win the ALC tournament. We can. The sky's the limit for this program. But I think to your point, the run that we went on at the beginning of the year was a you could contribute a lot of that to the fact that we were young, we were scrappy, and I don't know, we just played loose, and I think that worked for us for a big portion of the season, which was exciting, kind of this scrappy style of play. But then, the downside of being young is that stuff starts to go wrong, like against South Carolina. It just I think it was just a lack of overall just discipline to be able to keep that North Star that we are a good squad. We can go and make a tournament run. I think that's a big reason why we kind of got in our own heads, and hence what was the final mono? Was it 20-8 against South Carolina, something awful like that?
Mm-hmm.
Something unfortunate of that nature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just think that it's a two-sided coin, just being a young squad that like we have the ability to go out and play young and play fast and play loose, but it also comes back to bite us in games like that. But yeah, the Blacksburg game, I think Coach Tobias did a great job that week. Just as to your point, just hey guys, like get some confidence back, because I don't know, we were kind of down in our luck after that week, and I don't know, he really instilled in us that we are a team that's capable of making a run, and then we went and that became visible when we knocked off Blacksburg or VT. It was probably one of the favorite games I played as a Tiger, which was awesome.
Yeah, I think just transferring through it, Luke, before you answer that, I mean, transferring that through not just from that game, but also into the quarterfinal or the semifinal game in Lynchburg, you took national champs like pretty close. Like that was not an easy game for them, Luke. Like, so what was it that really changed from a schematic standpoint, or was it just a mentality standpoint? Or was it both that led to that win and then that really close game in Lynchburg?
Dan, I think it was mostly a mentality thing. I think
Yeah.
after the South Carolina game, a game which we had a lead early in the first quarter, I think we just realized too that the pieces were there. It was just time to put it together too. And also to Adam's earlier point too, from a cohesive standpoint, I think everyone on the team just realized like, hey, this has been such a great year, and we really just we found ourselves just really loving life and loving the season during that 7 game stretch, and just didn't realize we realized that we didn't want that book to be closed, and winning at VT was the only way to keep the season going. And I think when we got off that bus, people were just cool, calm, and collected, and I think it showed. They just played like they were playing because it was our seniors' last game potentially, and we didn't want it to be our last. And that mentality streamed on into the Liberty game, where, as you know, you were calling the game, got off to a really hot start, and then we didn't go away. Really tried our best to claw back and get to the finish line. Just fell a little short because I think it truly was a closer game than a 4 goal difference. But I think that spoke to we realized we had the pieces, we had to put them in place, and that's why we beat VTech and really gave Liberty a good run. And we were all still confident walking off that field that we know we could have got the victory too. So I say it all to really highlight that we just started to believe in ourselves more and just started playing just like it was our last game and had that passion to keep that season going for the guy next to us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I look at that and I see your guys' team, I know that you're very well coached, and you have been for a long time. I mean, you went from a legendary coach in Buff Grubb, who's like the wizard, man. Like, he's just been around for a long time, and I love hearing his war stories and just a great team from 2022. I mean, how about last year getting the first winning season for Clemson since that 2022 team, which is great. But he's transitioned to Andrew now. And what does Coach Tobias, what are his main themes to having a successful team? Whether that's, there's a mentality part, but what do you guys have to do on the field that he emphasizes to help you be successful?
Coach Tobias is big on controlling the pace, which I think has been. I think against South Carolina, that's a big reason why we got blown out, is because they were controlling that game. They had they had the remote, for lack of better terms. And against Virginia Tech, I don't know. It's a mindset shift. So this is our game. We got to play at our pace. But I think on the field, shows up with possession time, shows up defensively, just making the other team just uncomfortable as much as you can, for the whole 60 minutes, and dictating the way that we want the game to be played on both sides of the field and in between, and at the X too, most importantly. And I think it's cool that he's a chemist by day, which I don't
Yeah.
think about enough. But he spends his days with beakers, like making concoctions. I don't even know what he does, but he does the whole thing. And I think that really applies to the way he coaches. He takes a very analytical, just like able to filter right through the signal, or right
Mhm.
through the noise to the signal. And I don't know, he has a really methodical way of going about practices. So I think the main thing that he's preached, at least this fall, is just playing each game the way we want to play it, with our sets and our systems, not getting frazzled by anything that's going on. He's big on getting it around, getting everybody a touch, and just yeah, we've never really been a run and gun team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a very methodical approach that I think has worked for us.
So in that spirit, was there a specific moment that you can think of last year where his analyzation and his situational coaching came in, where you guys were like, "Oh, that was really smart thing to do," or even if it was like, putting somebody in a different position? Like, was there anything that he's done that you give me an example of that?
To Adam's point, I think what makes Andrew a great coach and really separates himself amongst the crowd is his life experiences. I think, to grab a group of guys, a bunch of college age guys, and for him to come with a refreshing mindset as not only a chemist, a father, and a husband too, and give us a little dose of reality of, hey, this is what it takes to be a man. I think he really instilled that right before we got off that hot start and ripped off those 7 games in a row.
Right.
I think he was really able to just kind of resonate with us deep, just way beyond lacrosse, just as men, just as young men say, hey, hard times create good men. So we're in a little bit of a hole right here, right out the start of the gate. We know we have the talent, we know we have the pieces, and really just inspire us to pick us up by the bootstraps and go out there. And I think that's when everyone really started buying in, people started believing in each other, and really became a close-knit team, and we're able to get into a dominant flow of blowing some teams out and winning some games on the road. And to answer your question right on the nose, I think that was most evident when we went on Alabama and beat them on a Friday night. I think Tobias just really instilled just a mindset of this is what we need to be as a team. And I think we went and executed that almost flawlessly.
Mhm.
People got off the bus, they were excited, they were motivated, and had a craving to win. And that's exactly what we did because, Bama, they're a good program, and they had a lot of excitement. We're coming to their territory,
Mhm.
playing at a high school stadium in Bama, got loudspeakers cranking music, a lot of energy, a lot of noise going into it. And
Yeah.
to silence that and persevere and get a demanding win where we controlled the game throughout the entire second half. I think that was the most evident point of it.
Yeah, just a lot of like you said, you're a young team. There's no question, and transferring over to like 2026. You do obviously lose some mainstay players, right? I mean, you lose John, which is huge. He was such a, huge part of the defense, kind of leading that group, and making such clutch saves in the moments. You lose Will, the defender. That's going to be, again, I mean, that's right your alley there, Luke, and you, Adam, too, is that's another guy that just created a lot of plays by not allowing plays to happen. And then you lose a guy like Ian on the offensive end, who is a spark. But looking at 2026, there's still so many people that, kind of came on later in the year, and young guys that stepped up in moments. I mean, you still have Holden, obviously. Jack Wonder was a huge revelation for you guys. Tyler Superchinski played some really good games down the stretch. And you still have young guys too on defense, or I'm sorry, older guys too. You have Tim Ziegler, Anthony Ritz. Like, there's still guys. Quisenberry's back. I mean, there's plenty of guys that you're saying, okay, this team has a ton of experience coming back, and then you add also some NCAA transfers. Like, as you go forward, and I've said this to you in the pre-show that we were just talking, I've talked to like 35 coaches from around the country, and I hear, what they have to say, and I hear some coaches, and a lot of them say, watch out for Clemson. They're the dark horse team because of the young guys that already have so much experience and kind of overachieved. I think some people would say that. Maybe you guys probably wouldn't, but looking at 2026, what excites you the most from a roster standpoint and then from how the team gets built?
Yeah, depth. We have some serious depth. I play with middies every day. Obviously, I'm a middie, and I look around, and we have like legitimately 12 middies that can go out and ball out pretty much interchangeably. Like we've always had a good squad, but this year, like to your point, it seems like the perfect storm of guys that have been in the system for a few years now, and we have a really elite sophomore class like Wonder and Tyler Superzinski and Trevor Buffon, who I'm seeing a big year out of, and just that combined with just I don't want to say got lucky, but got very fortunate with some really elite transfers too that just filled the holes or filled some of the gaps that we had as a squad. So I think that's what I'm most excited about because I think that's a big reason why we lost to Liberty at the end of the year because I really think we had that game, but it came down to war of attrition, and we were pretty well. Coach Tobias runs us for sure, so we were in pretty good cardio shape. But it's just Liberty; they were in just as good shape and also had the depth to back it up, which is which is hard to overcome that. So I'm beyond excited to just have the amount of playmakers that we have on in every level. Like, Mana, I'm sure you can speak to defense too, but so I think the coaches, the 35 coaches you've spoken to, are kind of sense that as well. And I don't know, I'm really stoked, and that's probably the main reason I'm excited.
Yeah, I'd echo that. For me, I think the excitement comes from, like you said, Dan, now relying on some tangible experience. Adam, he's a true stalwart of Clemson lacrosse. He's seen it over his 4 years too, so he's kind of seen the evolution, not only the program but also the club game too. And I think at this point, going to 2026, the talent is at an all-time high. And so now having guys that can rely on that tangible experience, but also beyond the experience, just have that craving to win. We have guys that know what it feels like to go into a tough place to win, like Blacksburg, and pull out a big game and get an upset win. They know what it feels like to lose to Liberty in a conference quarterfinal game or semifinal game. So knowing the pains of victory and the pains of defeat and the thrills of victory is really important. I think that's just going to fuel us taking to that next step, and then obviously relying on that depth that we've been able to add this year. So I think we're very fortunate in terms of roster talent, and I think the leaders here do a good job of instilling what it means to play at this level and to win as a Clemson team.
So tell me when I am about to do this game, if you guys are on, you're going to play Liberty, and I'm probably going to see you for the first time all season. And when I'm doing that game, and I talk to you guys before it, who are some players that you expect during that game, because it's later in the year, to be playing at just the height of their powers and at the height of their game? Because you do have a lot of depth, and there are so many guys around. But who are some players maybe that Adam? Maybe you could speak to the offense more, and Luke maybe more to the defense. But who are some players that really excite you that you've seen this fall?
Luke won't tell you, but whenever he talks about defense, but Luke Romano is going to be in prime physical shape by then. He's going to be, he's going to be locking up every team's best player.
Hyping him up so bad. That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. As in front of him too, which is perfect. So
yeah, I have to. But offensively, I think Jack Wonder was my first thought when you said that. Just beyond impressed by him. Just coming in, and it's cool thing about him is that he plays with just like a level of maturity. He's being so like last year he was freshman rookie of the year, and you see young guys just coming in, it's like fresh out of high school, just like
Mm.
really elevates his game. So I'm excited for him to keep finding his stride offensively. Obviously, Holden Morrison, Landon Snyder, who have just proven how dangerous they can be the last few years. But Aiden McNulty,
Mm.
lefty attackman, who was with us 2 years ago. Last year, he went abroad, which is a funny kind of issue that club guys got to deal with
Yep.
at NCAA. Not as much, but Aiden just can't blame him. He went in he was in Spain last year, but now he's back and he just ran a half marathon a few weekends ago. And every time I see him, he's walking through doors sideways. And he looks massive, and he's also just got the cardio to go with it. So I really think our our kind of age on the attack side is really going to come through with Holden Wonder, Jack Wonder, and Aiden McNulty and Landon Snyder, and then the midfield. It's again, I don't even know who to say because we have so many guys that can really just make plays. But the first one that came to mind was Michael Eugen. You probably don't. He's probably not on your list yet, but he's from Georgia. Didn't play last year, but came back this year. And I don't know. I don't even want to spoil it, but just he's got again just a guy that's a pure athlete and can surgical shot.
Mm.
Um, they can really hum it. He's got a great on the run, just big, just powerful. Something that I think we've been missing. Just a great downhill dodger, who I'm super stoked about. And Gennaro Petrangelo at the midfield line too. He's a senior who just brings a really calming presence to the field. Just a guy that's been through the ringer. And yeah, those are the guys that came to mind first.
So maybe he should be on my list then, because I got a whole bunch of lists that I get from people, and he's not on there. So thank you for that. Um, okay, put him on the board. Where's he from? Do you know where he's from? He said Georgia. Oh, he's from South Carolina. Okay. Which is, by the way, like I'm loving these like pipeline states that are like getting better at lacrosse so much better. Like we talked to West Virginia last year. That's getting a pipeline. Say you guys from New Hampshire. South Carolina is legit getting to be like kind of like how the suburbs of Georgia are really, really good athletically and getting really good. South Carolina is getting to be a really big lacrosse state. So I'm happy about that. Luke, some guys that maybe defensively that you see in fall ball that I'm going to be like, wow.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of funny. One of my mentalities on lacrosse is some of the best defense is not going on defense
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and a lot of that starts by being able to take care of the ball at the face-off X. And I think Jack Tormey is one guy that really surprised a lot of people in the ALC, even getting
Yeah.
honors recognition. Um, I think if you talk about someone who has next level passion for the game and care for a team and an organization, I think besides Adam Neal, Jack Tormey is a close second in terms of those attributes I described. And I think he did a tremendous job. He faced a lot of really good talent within the ALC. I think ALC had some of the best face-off guys in the entire MCLA. Dan, I'm sure you would agree with that. And I think he did really well defending the X, getting us possession, and I'm excited to see how he handles that hype and that pressure and continues to take it to the next level. But in terms down at defense, obviously, it hits at a personal level, losing guys like Will Leonard and John Hennessy just as friends, but also competitors and great lacrosse players. Um, but we got a lot of talent at the goalie position. There were a lot of guys that got to learn from John and were really inspired by John. So kind of observing a goalie battle throughout the entire fall was really good, I think, in terms of building a good defensive culture and just competition in our team. So I love all of our guys. I'm excited to see who gets a crack, and I'm sure we'll have a few guys that get out there, and I'm excited about that. And there's also some new faces that I won't spoil because I'm a little more mysterious than Adam Neal. I'm going to keep some names reserved.
You're on the ALC Sidelines podcast, and you're going to do that to me right now.
No, I think some of our NCAA transfers and will really fit in
Okay.
nicely to our defense this fall, and I'm looking forward to that. I know you highlighted Rook Donahoe transferring from
Yep.
Colgate. I'm excited about him fitting into the mix, as well as some other guys returning and stepping up. So I'm looking forward to the defense taking the next step this year.
I've seen some of the transfers that have come up on my list here, and pretty big schools. I mean, he's from Colgate. I think he got Ty Bleach at Fairfield. I assume that he's coming in there too, and some other guys too. So, how have those guys? Are there any of those guys that have kind of stood out, or are they kind of finding their steps right now?
For me, I think one thing I was grateful to help those guys this year too is also someone who transferred to NCAA is I think last year really gave me a great year to stay in love with the game and really continue to compete at a high level. And I think helping them guide their mentality to that point. And honestly didn't take a lot of encouragement too. Those guys just came ready to play, wanted to continue to grow as players and contribute to a new organization and program, and kind of felt their immediate impact. And I think too, just as a new guy, sometimes you kind of feel like you got to walk on eggshells. Obviously you got attention sometimes being the new guy and getting some hype and buzz around you. But I think they handled it really well and are both extremely eager to contribute to the team and be impact players this year. So excited to see their talents manifest on our squad this upcoming spring.
Nice.
And no egos either. Just came in like Mono said, it just came in with a sense of humility, just like ready to learn and get after it and learn our system and see what our program's all about. Because heard horror stories from people from the team in years past with guys transferring in and just ready to run the show. So it's been huge just not having to another thing on our plate with kind of bringing these guys down a level and grounding them a little bit. They've done that themselves. So it's there's just a lack of ego and there's just preparedness to get after it has been awesome.
It's hard to come probably there when you're at this big, massive school, Division I. You tell everybody about that, and then you got to not humble yourself, but you do have to humble yourself, I think, a little bit, and just say, hey, you come to the MCLA, you're playing for the love of it, really, at the end of the day. I mean, you're paying into it. You're definitely not getting the amenities that you probably would, but you're also not spending as much time. And I think that is probably an attractive selling point, especially for a school like you guys where and that's the thing I love about the MCLA is just the massive football, basketball schools, but your life is not lacrosse necessarily. You're not a full-time employee as I would say with the amount of hours. You get to have a life, but you also get to have this really cool experience. It's amazing that it's put together that way. And I'm looking forward to some of the games you guys got too. I mean, in 2026, what does the outside of conference schedule look like? Because we know you're getting Virginia Tech. We know you're getting Clemson, Tennessee, all those things. What's the out-of-conference schedule look like?
We got Florida game 1,
Oh,
which it's Florida then Tennessee. So
I
obviously
like that.
It's gonna be if we get it's kind of been the lens you've looking through all year. Sorry, my dog. But if we can just 1-2 punch to start the year, Florida, Tennessee, it's just I think just what you said. There are already some rumors and murmurs that we're gonna come out ready to play, but I think that's going to be a tangible way to show the world that we really mean business this year, which we're excited about. And so it's Florida to start, and then we got our big trip this year is we're going to Tallahassee to go take on the Seminoles,
Nice.
Florida State, which should be exciting. We got a new program in Jacksonville that weekend too, and so again, just another great chance to prove ourselves. But yeah, Florida State. From what I understand, because I don't think we played them in a while, but they seem very legit. So again, it's going to be a great chance to show what we're all about.
A team that likes to run, definitely. They like to they like to go fast. So that's going to be very exciting, and we'll see how Florida does. I know they lost a lot of big guys too, but we're looking forward to some of those games. Let's have some fun, shall we? Luke Romano. That name sounds familiar because
Sure
you have a family rivalry, I think now.
His research.
That research is in. I mean, so you have a brother Anthony, right? He went to Richmond. You said you went to Union.
Yes.
Okay, in the NCAA. But then all of a sudden, Anthony shows up at South Carolina, which of course, we find out. And then for some reason, his brother goes to Clemson. So I know you guys don't like each other in terms of schools, but what led to that kind of dynamic, and how does the dynamic, what's Thanksgiving like at your house, you know?
It's very funny. No, as much as I'd love to perpetuate the stereotype, Anthony's he's been nothing but a great influence as a great older brother. Honestly, that's what maybe made the game a little more high stakes and emotional for both of us, just because we're so used to being on the same side. So, but at the same time, that sibling rivalry cracked through. It's like gotta get the better of them, and fortunately, did not fall in my favor, which I unfortunately get reminded of when I try and maybe chirp him and have a little playful fun. So he loves to hold that over my head. Um, but hopefully to go full circle quickly to football real quick. Hopefully we take care of business this Sunday. I can on Saturday throw little jabs at him. But no, it was very funny to see that game manifest in something our family built up for the entire year. My grandparents even flew down to see.
Wow.
Um, but no, it was even though the game didn't go our way, it was a unique, incredible experience. It's very funny that the roads led to us going to divergent rival schools.
Mhm.
Um, but no, I was always secretly rooting for South Carolina far for his success, and he was just doing the same for Clemson. But I think I'm a hope that loyalty goes to the side of family blood instead of alma mater when it comes to the Palmetto Bowl this year, and maybe he secretly wears a Clemson cap for us.
Is it so you said your dad went to Clemson. Who was your dad rooting for?
Yeah, my parents tried to be as Switzerland as they could. My mom had Carolina t-shirt on with Clemson earrings and a pop sticker.
Wow.
My dad had a Clemson t-shirt with a South Carolina hat, but maybe when my mom wasn't looking, my dad took the South Carolina hat on just so he had the Clemson shirt showing.
I was
Mr.
gonna
Romano's a smart man. He's got his priorities straight. From what I've heard on the sideline, it was pro Clemson.
he's got loyalties. I know. Us Italians, we're very loyal, you know. So, you see, um, Adam, you're also from New Hampshire. So I'll ask you, what's the biggest difference between the northern living and southern living?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm home right now, and the whole reason I came down here is because it's been this dark out for like an hour. It's only 5:30. It's depressing. I mean, it's 4:15 and the sun's setting. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. So I think that manifests in just the people, the people down south. I'm telling you, it's like not to bash on New Hampshire or anything. I love this state and I love these people, but it's like I get to Clemson and I'm walking around and people are just smiling at me. I'm like, do I have something in my teeth? I don't have people smiling at me. They're holding the door just to hold the door. I'm like, I don't know, it's weird. So it's definitely a different pace of life. I don't know.
Oh
People
yeah.
just seem like shoulders are a little bit more relaxed. So that's been the biggest difference. But no, I like coming back and staying grounded in my roots. But yeah, I think the people have been the biggest difference. I'm actually setting up shop down here after I graduate, so
Nice.
it's exciting. That's how I should be telling to how much I like these people that choosing to come reside down here with them.
Well, it's amazing. You know, I say this I feel like every week, but I'm from Connecticut and I moved to Virginia. And when you mentioned the people are nice, people are smiling, first thing I got down there was I didn't trust anybody. Like I'm like, there's like, why are you acting that way? Like it's almost like get out of here. And maybe kind of being more close to New York and like having a little bit more like you got to watch out for people. I had that mentality, and I'm like, why are you talking to me? You know, like it's just, yeah, what do you want? There's no way you're that nice. And it's funny because my wife, I say that when we started dating, I said, there's no way you're this nice. You're just acting nice. But turned out she really was that nice, and now she's my wife. Anyway, outside of the sidebar there, in 10 years, Luke Romano and Adam Neal are doing what?
Adam, please take that one first.
Yeah, shoot. I try not to the future thinking. I know it's important. It freaks me out sometimes. It's like I
You
try to
got to
make
think about it. You're a senior in college. You got to think about it now.
Yeah, I do think about it, but it's like I try to make a 5-year plan, and then it's like, but I can't even figure out a 1-year plan. Like, what are my plans for now from a year ago are drastically different. It's just, I don't know, it changes so often. But I've always kind of had an entrepreneurial bug, so I've had a few different side hustles as I've been here in Tiger Town. So and that's what I'm doing after I graduate is I'm going to work for a startup. So 10 years down the line, I think I'm involved in the game. Will I have kids by then? Hopefully, I'll be 31. So hopefully, I'm coaching the kids.
You'll get them.
If he wants to, yeah, I think I'll have them. Maybe I'll get a stick in their hands. Maybe I won't, but I want to be coaching a kid's sport. That's always been important. And by then, maybe I've had a company acquired, maybe two, maybe three. I don't know. But I don't know. I think I'm definitely still involved with the game, and I think living in I've always been compelled to Texas. I think that's where I'll end up.
Interesting.
So living in Texas, hopefully counting my money, and raising some youngsters. I think final answer. It's a hard one.
Okay. Man, hey, watch out for those X's, though. I'll tell you that. Luke, Luke's Mr. Finance guy. He's got it all figured out, you know.
Yeah, I got it all calculated. I already have a set in stone 10-year plan. No, similar to Adam, obviously finance guy. I'm kind of hoping. I'm an American dream guy, and I see, white picket fence, family, good steady job, hopefully
Yeah.
teaching the kids how to throw a football and shoot with a lacrosse stick. So, hey, if things go that manner, I'd be pretty content too. But like Adam, and like we talked about before, Dan, New Hampshire's the roots, but adopted Southerner living in South Carolina now.
Yep.
So I think might have to call the South my permanent adopted home. That's the plan at least. But no, hopefully 10 years from now, like Adam said, both have families and live in some good quality lives, and counting the dollars would always be great,
Yeah.
as Adam pointed out.
Not too shabby having those in the back pocket. Since we're going to be in December here, Christmas tradition. What do you got?
Good question. Christmas tradition.
I feel like you
Maybe it's
Romanos are like a ugly sweater family now. I feel like you guys got
No,
some.
we're actually not an ugly sweater family.
Let me ask Luke, are you a Feast of the Seven Fishes family?
Also, no.
No? Okay. I was just curious. I know you got a vowel on the end of your name, so.
We have kind of discrete family traditions. We usually end up watching the same movies, going to the mall, doing the same kind of things. But no, we're a big Polar Express on Christmas Eve family. That's been a mainstay for 12 years. But in terms of other traditions, we kind of just always decorating the tree. We get the tree up early. We
There you
brought the
go.
brought the tree in yesterday. We want to get it up after Thanksgiving. We're big into the ambiance of the Christmas lights and making sure the house looks pretty around that time of year. And then probably go to mass on Christmas Eve. So just good old family traditions, but nothing crazy. Maybe the Neils are more of a ugly sweater Christmas family.
Hell no, no. I'm changing my last name if we ever turn into that type of family. But I don't know. But I don't know. I don't have a fun one for this one either. I'll tell you what, the Neils are this year, changing our lack of traditions. We're packing up shop to go to Punta Cana for
Ooh.
Jesus's birthday, which should be fun. We like to do it like at the end of like when I graduated high school, we went and did a big one, and then when I'm graduating now, we're going there, and it's finally I don't know, finally 21. You could hang out with the fam and
What does that mean, Adam?
what does what do?
What does that mean that you're 21? What does that got to do with anything?
It means I get to get a new license for the most part, and it also means I could put some back. I don't know. This is club ball. It's not NCAA. Yeah,
That's true.
after it, sue me.
This is a family podcast, so
It truly is. Truly. My kids watch this. No, I'm just kidding. I am taking the kids. This is crazy. I'm taking the kids to Disney World on Christmas, and it's just I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know if after I'll be like I'll never do that again. Like I'm very nervous for that. So, um, you have to do it once. Why go to Clemson? Like, what's the coolest thing about going to Clemson?
Weather was my selling point. That the weather kind of Trojan horsed its way, or I used the weather as like a Trojan horse to get down here, and then after that, it was a sense of community. It sounds cliche, but they always say like something in these hills, Clemson family forever, whatever, whatever. And I don't know. I've never been drawn to those. I think it's the marketing in me. I kind of I'm a marketing major. I kind of see right through those. But then it really does bring itself to fruition. It's you go out, you're wearing Clemson lacrosse, you're wearing Clemson anything, and people like we were at a minor league hockey game last week. Like the team was, and just like so many people would just stop and be like, "Oh, my nephew went there, my whatever, whatever," and just people just dedicate their so much to their success to Tiger Town, and the fact that you're associated with it too. It makes a world of difference because I was close to going up and I was gonna go play football and lacrosse up at a liberal arts school in Maine.
Mhm.
And then I had toured Clemson and I was just like wearing a Clemson shirt, but I was like pretty much committed to go play up in Maine and like this I was getting a pizza and this guy came up to me and he saw the Clemson shirt, he was just spilling his heart about how much his kids liked it and everything and how much like his kid got a job from it and it's just like shaped his life. And I was like, God, I was like maybe Bates College up in
Yeah.
Maine is not for me. So so I pivoted, headed down south. So yeah, the people in the community is the biggest selling point for me.
Yeah. I think fairly similar to when I was leaving Union, I applied to a lot of schools that kind of fit that archetype, big school, a lot of people, big football. But when I actually toured there and was able to get somewhat of an inside scoop, or at least as much as I could, I realized that Clemson separated itself from that mold of the big school nature by just really by a lot of things Adam said. Just I think its community is unparalleled. There's just a sense of kind of collected initiative to just really just serve the community and serve one another and embodies that Southern hospitality and close-knit feeling even at a school of 20,000 people. And I think the university itself too is just has a unmatched commitment to excellence and continue to develop itself as a really premier institution in terms of the public university landscape. And I think they're doing an incredible job for that. And I think it's been evident by the growth and success of our program on kind of to take a macro issue micro by just seeing the amount of talent and people that are flocking in from all over the country and coming to Clemson for the same reason. So I think it's truly a special place, not to be cliche, but let me steal some of Adam's marketing wisdom and try and sell it while we're here on the ALC podcast.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Well, sell me on coming down there because I've always tried to ask people this question. If I come to Clemson, where do I get food? What's the go-to food spot?
Smoking pig. Pat McAfee said the best meat he's ever put in his mouth.
Okay. Well, good for him.
Before you even get to the hotel, I'd say you go get you a combo plate over at the pig. Yeah, they got great barbecue. They got some good Mexican joints if you're into that. Yeah, there's some good holes in the walls around there, but I'd be remiss if I didn't sell you on the pig. It's outstanding.
Smoking pig. Look what you got.
Smoking Pig's a good one. I had a buddy who goes to school in Chicago coming down recently for a game, and he said he wants some Southern barbecue food, and we looked no further than a Smoking Pig. But like Adam said, there's some good holes in the wall. SO Club's a classic too on game day if you want something a little more casual and decorated with tradition. But no, if you want good old Southern barbecue food, you got to head over to Smoking Pig.
I can get down with that. No question about it. Last question. A successful season for Clemson lacrosse in 2026 looks like what?
Nationals. Nationals. It's that's the only answer. It's every year Coach Tobias lays it out well. He says first we win the state, so that's being up on Luke's brother's alma mater, and then it's win the conference. So that's but start with Toppling, Tennessee in week one, and then it's I forget how he articulates the last one, but I think it's just win the championship. I think that's how he words it. But yeah, it's always Nationals run. It's always a North Star for this program. It's what program would you be if it's not on the top of your to-do list? So yeah, it's good to give the team clarity, knowing that is where we'll end up as a squad. And just every day is taking another step towards there.
Yeah, I agree with Adam. I think to emphasize this point, the goals are just very premeditated and it's bit by bit, right? So right now the only focus and only concern is beating Florida on January 30th. That's the only focus. That's our only care right now. They're a blue blood team. They're coming to our field and make a statement, move past that dark horse name and really cement ourselves as a team that means business. And then from there, it's continue to progress. And as you know very well, Dan, it's a completely new format in the ALC this year of playoffs. So there's no games to waste. So I think kind of that premeditated approach and obviously nationals is the end goal, but we get there by accomplishing those hurdles first. Beat Florida, beat South Carolina, win the ALC, get that automatic qualifier, so we're not sweating it out when tuning into your selection show. Um, just put ourselves in a great spot to succeed. And I don't think it's just words. I think we mean business this year, and we're excited to show it when January hits.
Well, we can hope nothing more than for you guys to have at least 2 trips to Virginia this year. That would be the idea. You just stay. Just stay. Lynchburg's fine. You stay in Lynchburg, and it's 2 hours to Richmond. So it's not too shabby. So exactly, right down the road. How can we help you guys out? Where can we help you donate to your cause, to Clemson Lacrosse, buy merch? Like what do we get on the gram? How do we find you guys?
Yeah, you got everything you need in the link in our Instagram bio. Subscribe to our newsletter so you can stay up to date with everything we got going on. Yeah, there's a link to donate. It's going to help a broke college student make their dues a little bit lower, which is a kid that wants to keep playing the game he loves. And yeah, you'll find our stream link in there. You'll find our apparel as those stores keep opening up. So yeah, just click the link in our bio on our Instagram at Clemson Lacrosse, and we will not be giving that to the girls D1 team. That is ours, even though they've asked. And yes, that's where we're at. So at Clemson Lacrosse on Instagram.
Okay. I'm gonna need a hat or something to wear on the other podcast, just so you know. So
That can be arranged.
okay. See, this is this is scratching backs. That's all we do around here. Hey guys, I'm looking forward to watching you guys play. Especially, I'd love to come down and see you guys, but I know we'll obviously get a chance to see you guys when you come to Lynchburg in the regular season. So that'll be a lot of fun, and looking forward to many things to come from the Dark Horses. Add that on to the nicknames of the Clemson Tigers in 2026. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Dan, thank you. Excited for the season.
Yeah, the man. That was awesome. Much appreciated. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you, guys. A big thanks to Adam Neal and Luke Romano for joining us. Please go and support the Clemson Lacrosse family, and the men's lacrosse team is, like you said, all your donations that really help out, do a good cause, help these guys keep their dues down, help them be able to function as an organization. We just love that and try to shout that out for our conference members. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Please like and follow us on Instagram at Atlantic Lacrosse Conference and on X at Atlantic LC. You can also follow along on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We are there for you for your viewing pleasure in the Atlantic Lacrosse Conference. So, happy holidays. Enjoy it. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Hope you get everything you want and more this holiday season. To you and yours. From our producer, Andrew Musser, I'm Dan Zampano. We'll see you in 2026 for the ALC Sidelines Podcast.